2010. We've been trying to get a LiDAR that was meant just for vegetation structure into space, using the best people in the world who are at NASA Goddard to do this. And at that point, I've been doing this 15 years, maybe I'll just quit.
Welcome to this OU Nightly Special Super Tuesday Report. Good evening, I'm Mecca Thompson.
And I'm Noah Mack. Polls across the state of Oklahoma closed just minutes ago at 7 o'clock.
All voters who are in line at 7 p.m. will still be able to vote.
Including Oklahoma, there are 15 states and 1 territory in tonight's presidential primaries, and we'll be giving you those results throughout the night.
This just in, the Associated Press calls Virginia and North Carolina for the Republican presidential primary. In Virginia, 55% of the voters are in with Trump, taking 65% of those votes. On the Democratic side, we also now have a clear winner in Virginia.
And tonight, voters are casting their ballot for the Republican nominee for president. The field has winnowed down to 2 candidates, former President Donald Trump and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Trump has taken the lead in every primary up to this point, except for Haley's recent win in the Washington, D.C. primary. Right now, Trump has 273 delegates, while Haley sits with 43. 1,215 is the magic number. The candidate that reaches that threshold will clinch the nomination. Tonight, there are 854 delegates up for grabs in the Republican primary race.
And on the Democratic side, President Joe Biden is leading his party's primary. So far, he has secured every delegate except 2, which is normal for an incumbent president. Biden's 2 challengers are spiritual guru Marianne Williamson and Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips. Neither of them have delegates. 34% estimated votes are in. Virginia has been called.
And we've got Ireland Fitzer out in the field. She's at a polling location talking to voters. Ireland, what do you see out there?
Thanks, Noah. And like you guys said before, the voting places did just close at 7 o'clock tonight. But I was able to talk to a few people earlier today about their experience and just hear what they had to say about it.
Well, if you don't come out and vote, then whatever happens, you don't really have an excuse to say, I don't agree with this, because this is your opportunity to say what you want to say at the right, proper time.
You have a voice and you need to use it, and they give us a small piece of freedom and we need to take it.
And while they did close at 7, I will say people were filing in and out up until that closing time. Reporting in Norman, Ireland Fitzer, OU Nightly.
Thanks for that update, Ireland. Earlier this week, I sat down with the student leaders of both the OU Democrats and Republicans. They laid out a spate of different issues they think young people are voting on. The OU College Republican Chairman Anthony DiIulio says the economy is a big one.
Even when you go to the grocery store, I mean, Governor Stitt can repeal the grocery tax, but people are still going to be paying an arm and a leg for groceries.
And we need one more song. And the chief of staff for the OU College Democrats, Colin McPherson, says there is a disconnect between Biden and young people over the war in Gaza.
While I don't condone the actions of Biden under the current situation, and we do call for a more permanent ceasefire, we still support the Biden administration in a majority of their handlings, just not this specific issue.
Gotcha. Yeah, and another point both of them mentioned was the issue of age. Biden is 81 and Trump is 77, and if they secure their respective nominations, they will be the oldest candidates to run in a general election in American history, breaking their own record from 2020.
Norman voters are voting on more than just presidential candidates on this Super Tuesday. A 25-year agreement with OG&E expired in 2018. The vote to renew the bill did not pass in 2023 is back on the ballot this year. Victoria Anderson has the breakdown on the bill and its impact on Norman.
Noah, Mecca, a lot is at stake here locally. Today, Norman residents voted on whether or not to enter a 25-year franchise agreement with Oklahoma Gas and Electric. This bill would allow OG&E to continually provide Norman with utilities. OG&E says a yes vote would let their linemen access city properties without a permit, and that could make repairs quicker and safer. It also allows them to maintain access to equipment necessary for their linemen to restore power when an outage occurs. An OG&E spokesman, Aaron Cooper, spoke with OU Nightly earlier this week, providing an explanation for the 25-year contract.
The reason for 25 years is the poles and the assets that we put in place to provide electric service have a really long lifespan. We're talking pieces of equipment that are expected to last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So with this agreement in place, we want to make sure that we have certainty, and so that we're able to do long-term planning for the infrastructure and for the equipment that serves a community like Norman.
Last year, the agreement failed, with 60% of voters voting it down. And residents today citing similar issues with the agreement, saying this gives the city no negotiating power and that 25 years is too long. On top of these issues, an increase in blackouts in the past 3 years for OG&E customers is top of mind for voters, who are no strangers to wild weather, leading to powerless days. A representative from Norman Mayor Larry Heikkila says that without the vote of approval, the decision might move on to the courts. We will bring you the latest on these numbers from the polls as they come in. Victoria Anderson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Victoria. In Texas, Democrats are battling for a chance to get out a Senate seat.
Abigail Franklin is live in the newsroom with more on that ongoing race. Abigail, what do you have for us?
Yeah, there are no results in right now at the moment, but Democrats are in a race tonight in Texas for that chance to face Ted Cruz in November's elections for the U.S. Senate seat. 9 candidates are battling it out tonight, and 2 of those candidates are Colin Allred and Roland Gutierrez. And they are leading in fundraising, polling, and endorsements. Democrats are looking to flip that seat later this year in November's elections, as no Democrat has won a statewide office in Texas in 30 years. And this is the longest streak of its kind. And tonight, if no candidate wins more than 50% of the primary vote, the top 2 finishers will advance to a May 28th primary runoff. In the 2018 Senate seat election, incumbent Ted Cruz won re-election by a narrowing 2% margin against Beto O'Rourke. We'll be monitoring those results of tonight's election as they come in. Mecca, Noah.
And this just in, we can now call Tennessee for both Biden and Trump. We will have those numbers when we come back after our short break.
Yeah, we'll continue monitoring the presidential primaries as it heats up underway. Thanks for watching our Super Tuesday special coverage.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a